You are not falling behind. The world is not ending. The chaos you feel is not personal failure. It is the echo of a forgotten rhythm, the pulse of a world severed from its source. This episode reclaims that rhythm. We turn to chapter 16 of Tao Te Ching as a guide, not for passive reflection, but for active restoration. These ancient lines are not poetry alone. They are medicine, strategy, and map. The face of systemic noise manufactured by governments, corporations, and religions that profit from our disconnection, we return to stillness. We expose a machinery of oppression not with rage, but with clarity. By applying the Tao wisdom today, we begin to dissolve the illusion of separation. We support the many voices rising for truth, freedom, and unity. This is our offering, a moment of stillness in the storm, a reminder that peace is not escape, it is power. And it says, empty the self of everything, let the mind rest in peace. The 10,000 things rise and fall, while I watch them return to the root. Returning to the root is called stillness. This is the return to destiny. The return to destiny is the eternal law. To know the eternal law is enlightenment. To not know the eternal law is to court disaster. Knowing the eternal law, the mind becomes all-embracing. With an all-embracing mind, the heart becomes impartial. With an impartial heart, you become a vessel of the King. Being a vessel of the King, you are one with heaven. Being one with heaven, you are one with Tao. Being one with Tao, you are eternal. Though your body may perish, you will come to no harm. This chapter isn't about passive meditation. It's an active recalibration of your entire being. Empty the self of everything is the first and most critical command. It means to let go of your agendas, your frantic thoughts, your need to control outcomes. It's the mental and emotional equivalent of closing all the 100 browser tabs open in your mind. This creates the stillness, not a void, but a profound clarity. That allows you to perceive the world as it truly is, not as you fear or want it to be. And what do you see from this place of stillness? The 10,000 things, that is, everything in existence, from your fleeting emotions to the rise and fall of empires, all return to the root. Everything operates in cycles. Every frenzy is followed by exhaustion, every growth by decay, every noise by silence. The root is the point of origin, the silent, still center from which all activity springs and to which it must return. To fight the cycle is to fight the nature of reality itself. This is what Lao Tzu calls courting disaster, the exhaustion, anxiety, and despair that comes from trying to make the river flow only uphill. But when you know the eternal law of this return, everything changes. Your mind becomes all-embracing because you're no longer shocked or terrified by the downswing of the cycle. You don't panic when things fall apart because you know it's a necessary return to the root, preparing for the next rise. This impartiality isn't cold indifference. It's a profound trust in the process. You stop trying to be the dictator of your life and start becoming its vessel, a conduit for the natural, intelligent flow of the Tao itself. This is the ultimate liberation, to be in the world, but not of its chaos. This wisdom is not unique to the Tao. It is a universal truth echoed across time and tradition. In Stoicism, the Stoic concept of amor fati, the love of one's fate, is a direct parallel. The Stoics taught to accept the events of the world as part of a rational divine order. Marcus Aurelius wrote of contemplating the change and alteration of all things and finding peace by aligning your will with the logos of the universe, just as we align with the Tao. It's not resignation. It's intelligent cooperation with reality. Buddhism. The core of Buddhism practice is observing the rise and fall of all phenomena. thoughts, feelings, sensations, without attachment. This is the practice of watching the 10,000 things rise and fall. Nirvana itself could be seen as the ultimate return to the root, the cessation of the frantic cycle of becoming, samsara, and a return to unconditioned primordial stillness. Indigenous philosophies. Many indigenous worldviews are built on cyclical, not linear time. Seasons, life, and community are understood as part of a great repeating cycle. There is no concept of waste or end in a circle. Everything returns to the earth to nourish the next cycle. This deep embodied understanding of return and reciprocity is a living expression of Lao Tzu's eternal law. Sun Tzu's The Art of War. This may seem like a stretch, but the strategic brilliance of Sun Tzu is rooted in the same principle. He writes, "In the midst of chaos, there is also opportunity." A great general does not panic. He empties his mind of fear and preconceptions, empties the self, observes the natural flow of the battle, and waits for the moment when the enemy's energy has peaked and must return to root in exhaustion. His victory comes from understanding and harnessing the cycle, not fighting it head on. The world we inhabit is engineered to keep us spinning faster, louder, further from ourselves. It thrives on disorientation, on the illusion that peace is a product, that worth is earned through exhaustion, and that stillness is weakness. But the Tao remembers. It remembers the rhythm before the noise, the law before the law, the root before the branches. Chapter 16 doesn't offer escape, it offers return. Not to the past, but to the pulse beneath all things. It doesn't ask you to leave only to notice. To feel the silence that was never lost, only buried beneath the machinery of more. This is not a metaphor, it's a manual. To live this wisdom is to become ungovernable by fear, to no longer be baited by urgency, to reclaim your time, to breathe your being. So we don't just read these words, we embody them. We build lives that breathe. We gather in circles that honor the unseen. We unplug, not to retreat, but to remember. We rest, not to recover, but to realign. And when the world demands frenzy, we answer with presence, not because we're passive, but because we are rooted, and the root does not rush.